thing going hot off the top with Mike. You finally watched Inside, Bo Burnham's
Hmm.
new special on Netflix.
Yep.
What do you got? What are your thoughts? I guess I mean we've all watched it now, so like no holds barred here. If you don't want any bits or pieces for some reason spoiled on Bo Burnham, then skip ahead. Skip ahead a couple minutes. But Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, it was good.
What
There you go.
what were your like? So for me, like I'm gonna sit here and flat out just say like to me this is a fucking masterpiece. Like this is like a I think an important piece of whatever you want to describe it as, like whether you want to describe it as a comedy special or a musical comedy or whatever you want to describe this as, I think whatever category you want to put that in, I think this is an essential piece of art media that you should consume if you haven't yet. Would you praise
Uh,
it that high, Mike, or no?
um, I don't know if I would go that high. It was definitely
Did it
very
make you
impressive from
want
a.
to watch it immediately again afterwards?
I didn't
Or,
do that.
or have you been like thinking about it? Because like after I watched it, I like wanted to watch it again immediately, and like I just thought about it for like days afterwards. I'm like, I
I
gotta
mean,
keep on watching this.
I am legitimately crazy, and I did watch it. I that night, that first night I watched it again immediately right after. I couldn't sleep. I was like, nope, this is going right back on, which is not normal. I will fully own that. That's not a normal response, I think, to really anything. But have you listened to the songs since, Mike? Because now they're available streaming services.
So to start off by answering Todd's question, no, I didn't feel like watching immediately afterwards. I I was really impressed by it from a very technical standpoint.
Same, yeah.
The fact that he did it all himself and like the editing was pretty good. For instance, I was kind of sitting there thinking to myself, like, how did he really write out that one bit where he was doing a react video and he kept reacting to the video as it kept playing?
That one was very very confusing to me too, to the point where it must have been like a thing where he had the full idea planned out in his head and just recorded
Yeah.
it in one shot, so like he was
Yeah.
reacting to nothing, you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, but
only
Like
way
he
that's the only
he had to
way I can
time it
think.
right and he
Yeah,
had to time it right for everything. Like I don't know.
I will
So
say he must be good at or enjoy timing things out, because I've since this has come out, I've rewatched it I think 5 times at this point, because I'm again a crazy person, and I've watched his other two stand-ups that are on Netflix,
Okay, I haven't
and
even watched those.
he he does a lot of timed comedy that, like, for his other shows, I don't know if he has someone else working it, like a sound machine or something, to line it up with what he's doing on stage. If not, he's like counting things out in his head or something, or like paying attention to like some form of timestamps in his brain. But yeah, there's a few things, because I think with the song where he has the sock puppet too, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
another one where I'm pretty sure that's just fully recorded, and he is moving his mouth and the sock's mouth in line with what is already recorded. You know what I mean? So it's
No,
like
I
he had to like time more importantly the sock's hand like movements up to what he
oh, I
did.
feel like he probably just recorded that separately to nail that vocal and everything.
Well, that's what I'm
So,
saying. I think it's already recorded, and
oh yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
he is like, if you watch again, a little ridiculous because I've watched this a couple times. If you watch that scene again, you can see that he slowly keeps, like, at certain points looking off screen, not at the sock. So he must have recorded just him doing it once, and then like is kind of mimicking or something, watching it with his on a screen or something. Regardless of however he does all of these things, like you said, Mike, part of what is to me makes this a masterpiece is the technical part of it. Like if you removed some of these other things, music's still great, music's super catchy. I'm really enjoying it. But I think if you remove some of these other elements, it wouldn't maybe necessarily be like a masterpiece. But all of this shit together to me is like, who else could fucking do this? Who else would have the patience to do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that it does require a lot of dedication. And I have not listened to a lot of the songs again. I think I might have I think just because I saw them pop up on YouTube for me, I did rewatch White Girl's Instagram, White Woman's Instagram, and the Internet Song. I think those are the only two that I've
Yeah.
rewatched, just because they did pop up for me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just rewatch this video.
The scenes for White Woman's Instagram that he does are crazy good, like
Oh yeah.
insanely good. Like, not only does he nail like blanket, White Woman Instagram, but like just him creating and shooting all of those scenes for like, arguably not a lot of screen time for a lot of those
All he
things.
had to do was go to like top influencer accounts on Instagram and be like, all right, this is what we're doing.
I mean,
So,
like there are a lot of things like, and the third verse where it's him talking about a woman talking about her dead mom,
yeah.
Mhm.
that's like weird to laugh at, I guess. But at the same time, I have seen people with those posts, and like I'm not trying to like shame people for doing that. Like, yeah, deal with death however you want to deal with grieving, and I don't even think necessarily Bo is like saying like you guys are fucking clowns for doing that.
No, I actually think he made that a serious part of the song to like actually make up for everything he said in the beginning of the song. That's how I took it.
Oh yeah,
That like
maybe,
I don't.
but
Yeah, I could be wrong too.
but
Like, I don't.
I think it just lends to pretty much everything he does in that song, whether it's comedy or just making points about stuff. It's like I've seen pretty much almost all of those posts in some form on Instagram,
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
including the dead mom one. Which that scene in its yeah, I know, it's
Like
weird to laugh
laughing.
at. I know that scene in itself where like he put those strip lights like all around the room, like in the shape of the room.
A house. Yeah.
Yeah, in the shape of a house. At no point ever did I notice that those lights were used again at all in the special. So that means this motherfucker like had to go through the trouble of like nailing all of those up or whatever, however he stuck them up, which takes a long fucking time. And he did it for like that one specific little thing. Like there's so much little shit like that that just goes
What did he
into the
say? Did he
details.
say he did it for like over 6 months? Was it like?
I mean, if what he says in the special is the reality, at one point in the special he says that he's been doing this for over a year. Or at the year mark or something.
I mean, it would make sense if he did that because I mean, COVID's been like a year and a half now at this point. So it's
Yeah.
like,
I don't know if he's done interviews or anything like since this has come out and like explaining more about the process, because if there is, I definitely need to go track it down. But I want more about the processes that went into some of this stuff, because like I'm very fascinated by this whole thing, and if it really did take place over the course of a year, and it was like, if you notice, there are points where his hair is shorter and his hair is longer and his beard is shorter and his beard is longer, and in the final song it seems like when he gets to the piano at first, it is potentially actually him, like at the beginning of this process, like trying the song out for the first time, because he does have shorter hair, and he sits down and he's like, take one, maybe final song, we'll see, whatever. And then he starts playing it, and then it's long hair, long beard, singing like projected over that. So it's like, was that actually him a fucking year ago with short hair recording the song? And then like, this is him
I bet it was.
now. Like
Yeah.
that whole fucking duality to me is like, if that is actually him like a year later doing that, it's kind of fucking wild to me.
I just love like the transition of call me and I'll tell you a joke to call me.
It's
and
it's
like,
so yes, it's
and then there's him in his most vulnerable state with
yes,
the fucking big light, and it's like boom, you're like, whoa, Jesus.
it's so good. Oh, it's so fucking good. I will say, now that Mike's seen it, so I think my favorite song is probably I think Dom is in the Twitch chat. Since Mike has watched it now, I think my favorite song is I believe on the album, I was calling it Hands Up, but the album calls it All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Are you familiar with the song, Mike, or no?
I don't know which one that is offhand.
It's like the second to last song. The middle of the song is him talking about how he took a break from comedy for 5 years, and then when he decided he was going to go back out, the fucking pandemic happened, and he couldn't leave his house again.
I mean, I remember at least if I remember that right, I remember at least the beginning where you hear that that audio clip of him saying like, "Oh, I took a break from comedy 5 years. I was gonna start. Here we go, January 2020. I was gonna start, and then the funniest thing happened."
Yes, that
I don't remember
song.
how the song.
Yeah.
I don't remember how the song actually goes, but I do remember that one.
So that song to me. So the second time that, or I guess the third time that I watched it, when I made Jen watch it, I don't know if Dom is being facetious enough, but Dom said top 5 stand-ups, unless he's trying to rehash last week's conversations, which was top 5 nonsenses.
Maybe he's asking you if it's your top 5, and we already know yes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, easy. But I don't even know if I'd consider it stand-up. It's something
same.
different.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't even know if you could classify it as that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what to classify it as. But anyways, that was the song that like I started crying, and Jen was like, "Are you okay?" Because to me, like, given how that song is structured, where it's basically like, fucking get your hands up, all eyes on me, hands up. Then he says like hands down, pray for me, hands down, pray for me. And then he's like, get your fucking hands up, get up out of your seat, all eyes on me, all eyes on me. And then he fucking talks about his issue. To me, I'm like, and then other lyrics in the song, he basically is saying, this is how I interpret it, as like he was like finally ready to go back out into the world, and then he was forced back in, and he's dealing with this like this struggle that he was already having, and he was finally ready to accept his problems and move on. And then the world was like, no, definitely not. So it's like part of him is like, give me the attention, give it to me, but also like, no, I'm a troubled person, whatever. I'm losing my fucking point right now because I'm looking over and seeing Dom say shit in here. Say something.
When you say the water's rising, I don't give a shit, I'm like, oh, someone gets me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that whole like string of lines.
Yes.
They say the world is not, whatever he goes into. Yeah, I'm like, yep.
He says, they tell me the water's rising, something, I don't give a shit. And then he's like, they say the world is ending, and then he's like, honey, it already did. Like the world is over. There was something else he says in that song, and now I'm like losing my train of thought. But basically, it hit hard with me because it felt like he was also coming to the point of like, so part of the song he says like, we're going, where the fuck does he say? He says we're going something where like
he watched it 5 times.
I've watched it a lot. We're going where everyone knows who everyone is or something like that. So I interpret that as like, you're going home because you like, it's just like, I don't know. I'm all over the place right now. I'm struggling right now. I don't want to go down this path. I've gotten
Ladies
through.
And gentlemen, welcome to.
Yeah, let's move on. Anyways, this is another long intro about Bo. This is back-to-back Bo intros, actually. Right. Anyways, welcome everyone to the Past Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we talk about Bo Burnham's inside too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I am your host, Brenden, and joining me on this lovely Friday evening is the anime senpai himself. He's so fucking money, and he doesn't even know it. Mr. Michael Lazier. Mike, how are you doing?
The big winner.
Boy, I wish I remembered anything from the movie Swingers so I could respond to that. But
it wasn't a good movie. It was not a memorable movie. Todd has bad picks, right, Mike?
Oh wait, did anyone watch my pick for this month yet or no?
We never talked about it, so I don't know what it is.
It's the fucking not even the full 2 weeks into the month. It's
I know. I feel like it's already over.
I forget what it's called. The movie. Your pick.
Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys.
Oh, okay. I'll watch that later.
Rounding us out tonight.
Oh, and no. Don't forget, we also have the Disney daddy. What do we call him? I don't know.
Himself.
Somebody.
The Disney
Dom
daddy.
Is here.
Dom is here. Dom is
here
in spirit, here in the Twitch chat. He's watching along. But on the screen and in your ear holes is rounding us out tonight with the three player cast is Todd Gary, the Monster Hunter extraordinaire. How are you doing tonight, Todd?
I'm good. I want to put on Bo now again. Now you get me thinking about
I'm gonna probably end up. I skimmed through it last night because I wanted to just see certain parts with
That's kind of what I've been doing recently too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've watched it a full 5 times, and then I've skimmed through to watch certain things because like some of those songs, like I think this would be an interesting. I would want to see somebody who has listened to it but not watched it first and see if they liked it at all, because I don't think you would enjoy it the same. Like I
Yeah,
feel like you
absolutely
need
not.
these visuals
No.
for a lot of these
Yeah.
things for it to really kind of get hammered home. Plus, a lot of the stuff that you miss on the album version is like the obviously the visuals, but like the in between stuff that's like him fucking around with lights and like, you know, little things like that I think just kind of add a little bit more context and texture to the whole thing. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, so I remember while I was watching it, I'm like, okay, this is good. And again, from a technical standpoint, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then from a comedy writing point, it was one of those things where I was watching, like, yeah, that's clever. I like that. And like, it was like me nodding my head, critiquing it in that kind of way.
Yeah.
I can't remember what my first laugh out loud moment was, but I know I did laugh at him doing like pretending to do like a Twitch stream
Yes.
like that.
That was pretty
That
good.
did get me. I wasn't
The
expecting
crying.
that.
Which one? The
Yeah.
crying one? Like,
Yeah.
I
The
was
crying
dying.
one.
Yeah,
That was
that's
so
pretty
good.
good. That's pretty good. I would like that one. I feel like he got like the he had like the right tone for the Twitch streamer, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, he had the right
he
tone.
sounded like a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, he's like,
he-
yeah.
Thanks,
Heard about this
th-
game.
Yeah.
This up.
yeah. Thanks, big dog for the 2-month sub.
Yeah, he did his research, you know. Like,
Yeah, it was great. Like I would watch him stream fucking games if that's how he talked. Like on that shit, that would be great. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a 35 sub month giveaway at the end of the month. So you know, tune into that. At one point, he was like describing the game. He was like, "Yeah, I like this game. You know, it's kind of on a 2D. It's like a 2D game. You know, it's kind of on a 2D
Yeah.
plane." I'm like, "This is fucking hilarious to me. It's so good."
Part of me was hoping that when he said he was playing the game inside, I thought he was actually going to play the game inside.
I was hoping that too. I'm not gonna lie, because every time I hear him say I'm inside, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's
Yeah.
a perfect chance.
You know, when they like light up the thing you need to go to, like I hate when they do that in games. Like, just let me find it. Let me find it. It's so good. There was one other little thing about just like the presentation and technical aspect of it. It's towards the beginning where he's like explaining what's going on. It might be in between one of the songs where it's like half a second. It just cuts to like clean shaven short hair him with like a blue background, and he just looks at the camera, and then it goes back to like whatever like meltdown he's having. And it, like I don't know why that quick little scene like fucking it's like daggers into me, like it like hurts. I feel it. Like, I think also part of the reason why maybe I resonate with this is because like I also like fucking look like shit and let myself go and have all these fucking long hair now, crazy guy looking like a fucking barbarian. I don't know.
Tiny Tim.
Wake up.
Do
Wake
you know
up
who Tiny Tim is?
from like Scrooge.
No, like it's like this is like I'm dating myself, but he was like this dude who played like a ukulele. He looked like a Tim Burton character, but like you're starting to grow his hair now at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what I will say. It's getting to the point where I need to do something because like it's
Especially
hot.
with the I don't know how you did it with the heat last week.
It was
like,
bad. It was hot, and
yeah.
like my hair is so crazy curly now, so it like it's just a fucking it's wild. I've never had this to deal with this, so I don't know what to do with it. It's
You gonna go for that man bun?
no, I'm not a man person. I could see myself pulling it back in a ponytail just to like keep it out of my hair if I'm doing like out of my face if I need to like I don't know fucking do chores in the house or something. But I don't ever see myself putting it in a man bun other than to be ironic or I guess make fun of people with man buns. I don't know. I don't think man buns look cool, and I don't think I would look good with a man bun. So
Man bun was like a short period of time. I feel like that came and went real quick.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it
Like
lasted.
like
But
again, like
how-
I would probably just pull it back in the back to get it out of my face. I will say I also though have been like using Jen's headband when I have to do shit in the house, and I could rock a headband.
have you considered dyeing it?
I have. The only problem is that It seems like it would be a process because my hair is very dark, so I'd have to
Your
at
hair's very
least
dark. You have to bleach
What
it.
the
at
fuck are you
least
gonna
bleach
dye
it
it to?
once.
You gonna do ninja? Like do like baby blue? Or...
I mean, I would probably do a color. I probably wouldn't do fucking ninja blue. I would probably do like purple. I can't do green, unfortunately, because if I
You can't do
stream, it's just
purple
gonna
because
be
then
invisible.
I would never see anything different than the goths from South Park if you did purple.
Perfect.
Like
I'll
if
do
you
that.
were like, oh,
Yeah, just do highlights. There we go.
No, I don't want highlights. I would probably do a solid color of sorts. Purple would be good, I think. I mean, I also I think like fucking gray would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Little.
Witcher.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, I'm already there, man. Like I'm gonna be
Oh,
pretty much full blown.
so like I always
full
shave
blown
my
gray.
head, so I never really like. I know I have a lot of gray hair now, but like now that my hair's long, it's like there are like streaks of fucking gray running through my head, which you can't see
Oh
on
yeah.
camera, which is fantastic. But they're there. They exist.
I finally got that Mike Lowell beard I wanted for like the last like 10 years. I'm just all salt and pepper.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The point I'm at with my hair is, if I decide to shave it off, I'll probably never grow it back again because it's just a long process, and I don't like I like how I look with this hair right now, but like I don't like the middle version of that where it's like growing out. I don't like the in process version of that. Anyways, we should move on to actual topics before we sit here forever and then just never talk about anything. Which I feel like this is the par for the course now. Where this is what we're doing, which I don't hate, but we should cover a little bit of something maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck. I'm happy you watched Bo Burnham special. Dom, did you watch Bo Burnham special? This is a conversation we
I think
probably
he
have
mentioned that
not
he
here, but
listened. I think he mentioned that he listened to it.
you gotta watch it. You need the visuals. You need those visuals. It's not the same without those visuals.
Yeah, he listened to it at work.
You also miss a lot of other things that aren't included in the album because there are like other things that he does. Like the Twitch stream, for instance, is not on the album because
It doesn't make sense as a.
yeah, exactly. And Dom just said in the Twitch chat, at least you can't blame me for being the reason the show's off topic, and we can definitely do that because both Mike and I keep responding to you. So 1,000,000,000%. But a few housekeeping things before we roll into some actual nerdy topics tonight, I guess. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and you want yourself something hot, something sweet, something tasty, fresh out of the oven, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. And that's not all. If you want something hot, something sweet, something tasty, something spicy, something savory in the morning on a Sunday, get your weekend going right, end the weekend going right, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a chubby, which I'm a big fan of. I need to like wake up earlier and remember to get chubbies before it's already past the time I can get a fucking chubby.
Mike, cut that shit, all right? Cut that so we can just use that later.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I need to get up in the morning and get a big old fucking chubby. Anyways, yes. So they are our sponsor. Other couple housekeeping things which Todd already alluded to. June is for the PTC Movie Club. June's pick is Todd's, and it is The Nice Guys, starring Ryan Gosling and someone else. Right? Is it Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, Russell
Yes.
fucking Crowe, and you
I
don't
don't
fucking
fucking
forget
know.
that name,
I don't
right?
fucking know. I'm gonna watch this like the last day of June. Forget that I have to watch this movie and watch it on June 27th.
You should just watch it already because I think you're gonna walk away and be like, I think that's the best movie we watched out of all the movies we watched so far.
I mean,
I'm
maybe.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like
possible.
this will be the movie that you're finally like, finally, Todd. You picked the
Finally,
movie
Todd, you picked a good pick. You know, you actually are intelligent. We'll see. But if you want to watch along with us, we will watch The Nice Guys this month, and we will talk about it on the last episode of June. So if you want to hear us talk about The Nice Guys, make sure to watch the movie at some point leading up to there and tune in to the final episode of June to get that going. And then we will also reveal July's pick, which Mike's? I don't fucking know. I don't know the order.
Yeah.
I have to go back on the last couple months and see the order because I have no idea.
Dom did the last one.
Yes, I think it goes Todd, Mike, me, Dom. I think that's the order. but don't quote me on that. I'll look at it later. But yeah, so
Brendan,
the
what was
nice
your
guys.
last pick?
We watched the Haunted Mansion last month, which was
No, what
Dom's.
was your last pick?
The Big Sick. So I think I am last in
Okay.
the old
Yeah.
rotation. So
That makes sense.
I think Mike is July, I would be August, and Dom would be September, if that's correct. I don't know. Again,
Do you
don't quote me.
remember?
Do not quote me on that. A couple other housekeeping things. I was on the Prima Games Summer Games Fest live stream, which you can check out at twitch.tv/Prima Games. I was on there with Jesse and Lucas. It was a good time. We watched along and talked about the Summer Games Fest live stream that was on Thursday, I think. Right? Thursday? What's today? Friday? Yeah, it was yesterday, I'm pretty sure. I'm frazzled. It's been a long week. Couple other things. We have a PAX East Online 2021 panel coming up. That'll be airing in July. Let me pull up the thing here because I don't have it in front of me because I'm a big old dum-dum. It will be on Saturday, July 17th, 6:15 Eastern on twitch.tv/PAX1, where we're going to rate the top 10 Nintendo games of all time. We're not going to put them in order because that's just too much work and not enough time in an hour, but we are going to narrow down what we think is the top top 10.
You guys aren't going to get anywhere because think about like we had an hour to do like indie games.
It's gonna be
like,
similarly structured to that one, but thankfully since we did that one, I think I'm gonna take some things that maybe could have sped that up in certain areas and apply it to this and the structure. So I think we'll be good to go. But it'll be myself. If you're a fan of the show, you'll know Cameron Hawkins. He's been on here plenty of times. He's featured a lot on IGN lately. He's also doing 2 of their E3 streams next week, so you can see him on the IGN stage at Xbox and Square Enix's presentation. So definitely check out those and support Cam, show him some love. Alana Pierce, who you may know from a lot of different places, currently is a game developer at Sony Santa Monica, working on God of War Ragnarok. Tim Geddes from Kinda Funny. Lily Zaldivar, friend of the show, fan of the show. If you have been listening for a while, you have obviously interacted and seen Lily. She's been around as well. She's currently at 61 Indie and Viz Media. And then, of course, big friend and fan of the show, Grayson Morales over at Game Rant. So that'll be a great panel. I know I am at least on one other panel that hasn't been announced yet, so I won't take the time to announce that because it's not my place to do that. But I will be on another panel, and we still potentially might have some other Pass the Controller panels. I'm just waiting for some confirmation stuff. So, yeah, look forward to some of that cool stuff coming down the line in July. But anyways, we should move along. Before I get into what I have been playing, have either of you been playing anything you want to mention or talk about here?
Nope.
Go ahead, Mike. The floor is yours.
Have you been playing anything, Mike? Did you download the new Beat Saber?
No, I tried to, but I think
free?
I have to. No, I paid for it. I bought it. The problem is that because I'd modded the game, I actually have to uninstall it first before I can update it. So I like hit update and nothing happened.
Mike's
I'm like,
a fucking
oh, that's
hacker.
right. I probably have to uninstall it. So then I stopped. I turned my headset off and I just down.
Yeah, I will say it's the Interscope pack, so it has like I don't know, a song from like a couple different genres from different varying artists. I'm not a huge fan of the selection of songs, but even the songs that I'm not really excited to play, they have good beat maps, so they're enjoyable and they're really difficult on expert mic with the speed turned up, so they're a good time. What about
I'll get some.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. What about you, Todd? What have you been got going on?
I've been playing some Chivalry too. Yeah, I'm waiting for other people to get it, but it's great so far. My biggest fear with it was like I looked at some of the gameplay of the older Chivalry, and it looked very like almost clunky-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And this game just looks and runs really well on the newer consoles. I got it obviously on Xbox, but yeah, it's super entertaining. I'm excited to just keep on diving into it. It's pretty much just like Battlefield style large combat fights, but like not as big of maps. But Yeah, it's definitely it can definitely be funny. It's good. And then the other thing I've been playing is Ratchet and Clank, which I just started today, which I was never really a fan of the series before. I played the 2016 only, and I didn't like it, but this one's pretty good so far.
That's good. That's
Um,
good to hear.
yeah, no, it's definitely a good game. I'm like about 2 or 3 hours into it, but I I feel like everyone's gonna be saying this is like Game of the Year quality, and I don't think it's not Game of the Year quality, but I feel like we're gonna see a lot of that when I don't know. I feel like a game like Returnal is better.
Yeah. I mean, I've also never been a Ratchet and Clank person. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game. But if I do get a PS5 soon, this will probably be the game that I pick up. Because I've seen a lot of people kind of touting it as like this is the this is a good showpiece for what the PlayStation 5 can do, and like all of the stuff that I've watched, gameplay trailers, other things, like the game does look really impressive. I just don't like the gameplay and the character, like just Ratchet and Clank has never appealed to me, and that's that's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm like trying to like watch the story because I read that the story is pretty good, and I'm like paying attention to it, but I'm like I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think Jesse just tweeted something about, and I don't know if he was being sarcastic or not, but he wrote something about how he like the haptic feedback and the triggers of the DualShock is garbage,
Hmm.
something like that. And I agree. I think it's fucking. I don't get it. I feel like I'm struggling to pull down the right trigger a lot of these times. I
Yeah.
like the controller for everything else, but it also feels very weird in Returnal as well, where you're like it's almost like you're like battling the right trigger. Like, am I pushing it down further enough? Do I have to push it down slowly?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Can you
I'm
turn
in
that
the
feature
minority.
off or no?
You know what? I got to look into it because it was something I was wondering. But I feel like it takes away. I don't know if I have to turn everything else off on the controller if I do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's great so far. Liam likes it, so
That's good. Yeah, I mean it's something I'll check out at some point. Because again, it does look good, and there's still not a
Yeah.
lot of next gen,
Oh, well, that's what I was
next
gonna
gen
say too.
experiences, I guess.
I don't know if I'm like at the point where like everything just like I know like years ago you'd see like the next console came out and you're like whoa. I mean I'm not seeing this crazy jump, and maybe because we're just so used to playing all these great games on like.
Yeah.
But I mean I think the transitions look great, but I think transitions have looked great in a lot of games over the last couple of years. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is like you get to the Series X and you get to the PS5, and like Last of Us Part Two was fucking gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna see something that looks or plays much better than that. I don't think anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like that was already pushing the hardware limits of the
Yeah.
PS4, and it came out last year. It's not even a
Yeah.
year
So
old.
it's like, and I'm glad you just brought that up because I'm also playing that. And honestly, after play, I'm like going deep into it right now. I think that's probably it's probably one of my favorite games ever. That gunplay in that game is so fucking satisfying.
So
It's so good. It's
so
just
one of yeah, I agree with you. One of the discords that I'm in, someone is playing through Eric Van Allen. He's playing through The Last of Us because he has a podcast where they're currently playing through The Last of Us Part Two, and like they do each episode like on a section of the game. So it's like
is it the first time he's ever played it, or is it?
it is.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's cool to because they're doing it in order. So they've done it with other games, and currently they're doing Last of Us. So he played Last of Us One, I believe, for the first time as well, a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago, whatever it was. And they did, their each episode I think is structured around like a section of the game, and it keeps progressing through. I don't know if they do it based on days in the second game. I think so. But anyways, so he was playing a few sections of it in the Discord, so streaming it to just the people like me, Jesse, a few other people, like so we could watch him play it. And
Yep.
I'm like hungry to kind of experience that game again, but I just don't want to play that game again. So it was like nice to just watch someone I
Just
know
skip the
playing
do
the
what I'm doing
game.
right now. I'm skipping the cutscenes. So like I'm just going through like the actual gameplay of it, and
Yeah.
it's so fucking good. And I
Oh,
even
see,
like the
I
exploration.
kind of want the cutscenes. I want the story. I
Oh,
necessarily don't want the
yeah.
gameplay.
I'm watching them, but like some of them I'm skipping. But I love like the exploration of that game too. And there's so many things I missed. Like I'm like going through every last corner of every building of every section I'm in.
Hmm.
And it's so funny because I have a lot of complaints that like I get lost a lot in games, and like
You
I feel like
do?
this game, yeah, but like I feel like this game, like there's never a point where I ever felt like I was getting lost in this game, even though
Yeah.
it's like an open world game. Like I feel like it just does a really good job of that. But oh yeah, man, that game is just going back. And this will be my third time playing it now, and
Yeah.
this has probably been my favorite time.
I
Just
mean,
I just want to blast through it. I don't want to play anything else.
it looks good. I won't spoil anything for people who haven't played it and plan on playing it or want to play it at some point, but I'll give a very general idea of what I watched so that Todd can see where I'm at. But he just got to the part where he basically got to the end of Ellie's Seattle 3,
Okay.
and things change, and like
Yeah.
that whole buildup is so fucking tense. Like
Wait,
it's
so
like
did he get there yet though, or no? Like, did he actually witness it yet, or the transition and everything, or
uh he got to Seattle day 3 as Ellie and
okay?
finished
Oh,
that.
okay. Okay.
So you know what that means.
Yo, that game's super long too, and I fucking love that about it. I wish more games were like 25 hours if they're this good. They need to be this good. But like,
Yeah, they need
I
to be
love
good.
how, yeah,
We
like,
don't need to go on a whole thing about Last of Us because
yeah,
you know how I feel about the length of that game.
right.
I also forgot to mention, which it doesn't matter if you're listening to this after the fact, but if you're in the Twitch chat right now, and I'll mention again at the end of the episode, tomorrow I'm streaming for from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 12 hours straight to raise money for myasthenia gravis. So again, if you're listening to this after the fact on podcast feeds, you can still donate. I can share the link. You can definitely still donate. That'll be running until the walk, which is in, I think, August or October. It's somewhere in the fall, but you can still donate, but the Twitch stream would have already happened because it is happening tomorrow. So yeah. So if you're watching the Twitch chat right now or the VOD before tomorrow, tune into the chat. Tune into the Twitch stream. Hang out with me as I play a lot of games and do stupid stuff. So I guess that brings me to what I've been playing, which is a game called Biomutant, which I think I touched briefly upon my early impressions a couple episodes ago, but I completed the game today, so I'm still in the process of kind of finalizing how I feel about it and like going through my brain about where I stand on this game. And I know normally when we like give reviews on stuff, we don't really put scores, we don't put numbers attached to things. If I had to do that, like if I had to give it a number to give someone a gauge out of a 1 to 10 how I felt about the game, I'd probably land somewhere around a 7. Maybe 7.5. Probably wouldn't go higher than that. But it wouldn't be much lower than that if it went lower. I think 7's probably a good number for that, for how I feel about the game. But I'll say that like the first couple hours, I was really digging what was going on. I liked the gameplay loop. I liked the kind of being in that space and learning some of the new things going on. And it's not that got old, because I want to say I probably finished the game maybe like 30 hours, a little over 30 hours in. I'm not really sure how long I was in there, but I'd say probably around 30 to play through it. And I did a little bit of side stuff, not a bunch of side stuff. I will say, like, if you like the game and like you're enjoying the combat loop and like the stuff in there, there's a decent amount of stuff to do on the side of things. Like,
How is the combat? Like, is the
so
combat good?
so when I initially talked about this on the podcast, I was like, oh, this combat is really fun. And like, I liked how one of the things I mentioned, and I still will keep this as like a positive because I do think it is a positive, is like you're doing certain combos and then on the bottom right of the screen, it'll be like, oh, press this button if you want to do this other combo because like you've already pressed these other buttons. So I was expecting there to be more combos, like deeper things. And there is a lot of stuff to unlock, but it's not a lot of like big button combo presses things. It's just more of like abilities and powers that you map to certain buttons. So there's some depth there with like how you want to play, if you want to play with like more ability type combat, or you want to, just the thing that was kind of disappointing of a letdown as I got further into the game and realized that this certain part of the combat didn't evolve much more, is that there's essentially one button for your melee combat. There's another button that you can use in melee to finish combos, but like if you press that, so I'm playing on Xbox, so X is your melee button. Y will be used for like finishing combos, but if you press Y by itself, it doesn't like it's not an attack. So X is the button. And then if you hold down I believe it's the right trigger, then it pulls up a menu that like you can tie an ability to A, X, Y, and B. So you have 4 other like abilities you can use. Plus you can dive and roll, obviously jump, and then you have a gun. And like the gun for me was like a big part of the combat, because I mean, I don't know. I feel like I had a pretty powered up gun at some point, and I was much easier for me to just like stand back and fucking shoot everything, instead of like getting up and potentially dying. But even like, I don't know. There's enough variety in depth there with the abilities that I think it kind of makes the combat a little bit, like it doesn't get too stale, but it doesn't turn into like this combo heavy game, hack and slash game that I thought it was going to have more of, which
Yeah, it seems like it's more of an RPG stylish game. So I figured
sort
that would
of,
be more.
yeah. You definitely like it's definitely more about gaining levels and like choosing where you want to use your ability points on certain new powers, or if you want to upgrade certain stats. Like it definitely has that element to it, and there is a lot of side content to dive into if you want to like min max and max out your character and get a bunch of cool stuff. The equipment in the game is kind of cool. Like I like the style of it. Like you get a lot of different pieces. Like you can get different, pants, shirts, helmets, face masks, shoulder pads, like stuff on your hands, a backpack type thing. Like there's a lot of things like that. So there's a lot of variety, and I like games that when you change your armor, it changes how your character looks. So there's a lot of variety in like how your character can look and stuff like that. And I feel like the loot was pretty, I feel like it was pretty well distributed. Like I feel like I did enough side stuff and enough main stuff that I always felt, I wasn't always getting crazy drops, but I felt like I was getting enough stuff often enough that it felt rewarding to like go to other parts of the map and like do side stuff. The beginning of the game is a little linear, but I think that's purposeful and like by design, because it kind of wants you to learn some of the gameplay mechanics and like what the game is trying to do. But then once you get past like the first main mission, really, then the game opens up to like a more open world game. You can kind of go wherever you want. I do like, so there's, and I kind of wasn't big on it at first, but as I went further in the game, I didn't hate it. So there's like different biomes that are like, oh, there'll be this place that's like a really hot place. So like if you are there and you don't have heat resistance built into your character, or you don't have like armor on that has heat resistance, you'll just start taking damage and you can't stay there because you'll die. And it has that, like there's an ice biome, and there's like a fucking biome. Yeah, kind of. There's like a biohazard biome where like if you're taking toxic damage if you don't if you don't have the right stuff equipped or build up your stats properly. And I like that kind of thing, because once you kind of learn how to upgrade your armor and stuff and like switch your gear out to like work for that, it was at least a few times that I went into specific biomes like that had like big mini bosses to fight. The gear that you got from going in there and beating those things was like usually really good. So I feel like it was rewarding in that aspect, and it was stuff that was all like pretty optional. Like I think you could go through that game and probably not hit a level cap that felt too difficult if you just kind of played through the main mission. I will say the story was kind of a letdown to me. I didn't really care about what was going on, which I feel like they tried to tell an interesting story and it just didn't hit with me. And I think what they were trying to do could have been a good story, but there was something about it that I just didn't care about. Maybe it was the characters. Maybe the characters just weren't charming enough to me for me to like really care. But I will say that like overall, it's definitely a game that I enjoyed. I'm gonna probably maybe dip into New Game Plus and just maybe bang out some achievements that I know I'm close on, because I looked at the list and to see like my progression on some of them. So I might dip back in just to do some of that. But it's not, if you're looking for like this next next best action game, action RPG to play. I don't think this is that, but I do think this is a solid experience. I think this is definitely like, if watch a couple trailers, watch a couple of, listen to my words, read someone else's review. I might put up a written review next week. We'll see. If I can squeeze that around E3 stuff, but I would say, like, if you're not fully sold on what you're seeing on this game, maybe pass, maybe get it when it's on sale for $40, $30. Because I think $40, $30 for this game, I think if you were to get this game at $40 or $30 and not 60, I think pretty good game for that price.
I'll hold out the Game Pass.
Yeah, I could see this going on Game Pass at some point. But again, like, it's not this earth-shattering game that I think redefines generation. What I do think is, I think that they tried to do a lot with this game, and that ended up hurting the game overall. Because there's so many things that they introduce and try to do in the game that kind of don't really matter in the long run. Like, you unlock certain vehicles, and like, you can get a mech, you can get this like water, like jet ski type thing, you can get different rideable animals, you can, there's, late in the game I unlocked some weird like hand thing that you rode on, and it also was a hand, like literally a hand that was a gun. And like, there's different things, and I think there was a few other vehicles I never unlocked. So like, there's a lot of cool stuff that they try to do. I just think that this game could have been an 8, 9, or a 10 if they maybe like made their scope of what they wanted this game to be a little bit tighter.
Aren't they like an indie studio basically?
They are a small studio.
Like 15 people did that game or something like that.
It is a small studio. And again, like, this isn't a bad game. I just think that if maybe they did shave certain things off and then kind of went deeper on certain other elements, like the combat or, the story or whatever it was, I think they could have had something really, really good here. To the point where, like, if they ever do make a Biomutant 2, I think that game could be a really phenomenal game. Really exceed what this game was trying to do, because it does a lot of interesting things. It's just, some of those things feel maybe a little half-baked or just not fully implemented into what the game is doing, which is unfortunate, because I think that there is a really good baseline for what this game is. It's just, some of those things kind of fall a little flat, unfortunately. I will say that I've avoided, because I knew I was playing it to review it. I avoided anyone else's like reviews or opinions or thoughts, because I don't like to cloud my thoughts going into something. But one of the things that was hard to avoid on social media, I saw a lot of people that I follow mention this, was that the narrator was annoying. And I don't know exactly why people were saying that part, but for me, I didn't actually hate the narrator, but the one thing that I didn't like about the narrator was the characters in the game don't speak words. They just make noises. And the characters would make noises, and then the narrator would narrate it. So it's like double the length for no fucking reason. And it's weird, because I feel like the developers must have thought maybe they didn't make the right choice with how the narrator worked, because after you get through like the prologue of the game, a menu literally pops up, like a bubble pops up, and it's like, hey, if you're not liking the narrator, go into the settings and turn it off. And it's like, what? Like, you're muted, Todd. You're muted.
I was saying, was that an update?
Oh, maybe it was an update. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm almost wondering, because that's all I read about people talking about the first like day it came out or two.
Yeah, because there was a few people, like, I know, like Snowbike Mike. I tune into his streams a lot, and in one of his streams, he was talking about he wasn't playing Biomutant, he was playing Warzone, but he was talking about Biomutant, because I believe he must have also been reviewing it for Kind of Funny, or he was at least playing it for Kind of Funny. But when I was watching his stream, he just happened to be talking about the narrator and Biomutant, and he was just like, turn the narrator off and you'll have a much better time with this game. So it's like, I don't know. I kept it on because I wanted to see if it ended up pissing me off, and it didn't. It got to the point where I was like skipping the animals making noises and just reading or listening to the narrator, because I don't need to hear fake dialogue and then real dialogue. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. I did like the narrator outside of cutscenes, though, because he did talk while you were playing the game, and sometimes it was like, funny or poignant to like the mission or something. I don't know. Anyways, that's where I'm at with Biomutant. It's I would, if I had to give it a number, we don't normally give stuff numbers. I'd probably give it a solid 7. I think it's definitely, one to keep an eye on. If you're not sold on what you're seeing or hearing about it now, wait for it to go on sale. I think you'd have a good time with it. That's where I'm at with that. But yeah, that's what I get. I don't know if you'd like it, Todd. I think you might personally not like it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound. I was interested in it, but the more I read about it, the less I was, excited. Like I said, if it came on Game Pass, I'd give it a go.
Yeah.
I mean, and see where I went with it, but I doubt I would have to play it during a time where there's nothing, and I feel like there's never that point.
Yeah.
I'm always balancing like 7 games.
This is definitely one of those games that benefits from coming out earlier in the year. If this came out later in the year, it definitely would have got swallowed up. So good on them for putting it out a little bit earlier. It probably would have done even more positively if it launched even earlier in the year. But it is what it is. Is Biomutant doing anything for you, Mike? Any interest at all in that? I don't think it's necessarily a Mike game either, to be honest. But
No, every single time someone talks about it or I see a picture, I'm just like, that's a game, huh? And
Is that Rocket Raccoon?
Yeah, that's basically my thought. I'm like, oh, that's Rocket Raccoon. I could not give less of any interest in it.
Yeah. And so like part of the story for me too is like, it seems like, it's a world that was ruined by, I don't know if they ever explicitly say humans or if it was just other animals, but like toxic waste and like, whatever mutations, all this stuff, the world's ruined, it's gonna fucking go to shit. Like, I feel like they could have maybe told a really good story about like taking care of the fucking environment. And maybe that is hidden in there in more of the side missions.
It's probably where they were trying to go.
I think that is the story for the most part that they were trying to tell. It just didn't really connect with me at all. I was very bored by the story. The other thing I will mention too, again, this goes back to I felt like they tried to do so many things in this game. There is a light and dark system. Like there's like a good and bad system where like you have choices to make, and I don't know if they even matter outside of if you choose to go the light route, you can unlock certain moves, or if you choose to go the dark route, you can unlock certain moves. I don't know how much the story changes. There is an option without like spoiling it too much. It seems like there's an option to. It seems like there's potentially 2 endings, like a good ending and a bad, like a evil choice ending. So I don't know how much the story actually changes or what that means if you go the other route. I went the good route because I tend to usually make the quote unquote morally good decision routes in games. Like Mass Effect, I play as a Paragon character. I never really play renegade choices. I might punch the reporter in the face once in a while. That's a renegade option, but other than that,
actually, I'm like mostly renegade in my playthroughs.
Some people are. I mean, I might like play the game however the fuck you want to play it. I just like, I don't know. I don't want to be.
I'm usually the opposite. Like in Red Dead, I like did my best to make Arthur like the most like comeback dude ever.
Yeah.
Like I was like doing anything I could, but it depends.
I think with Mass Effect in particular, part of the reason why I would never do renegade stuff is I think that there might be certain situations where your party members might suffer for that, and I don't know because I've never gone those routes, but it might be a part of that, but I'm not really sure. Cool. Well, I guess this is we're getting towards the end of the episode here. I definitely wanted to make sure I talked about Biomutant since I'd gotten a review copy of that from the developer, so I wanted to make sure to talk about that for a bit. But before we wrap things up, we're in the middle of lead up to E3. There's some events and presentations happening currently earlier in the week, and then obviously going into this weekend, E3 is going to really ramp up and kick off. For stuff that was shown this week, was there anything that anyone really cares about? I know a big one for a lot of people is Elden Ring getting a big trailer and a release date, which is very soon in January.
Yeah, I would say that's like probably my most excited thing. But I will say this: like every fucking Souls like game I buy, I beat like 3 bosses and fucking just give up. It's like, but I always want to play them. I always want to play all of them. But that game looks really good. But it's like fucking another 2 years out, so I'm not going to get excited about that.
So the thing with Elden Ring that seems interesting is it's like a more of an open world Souls-like. So you think you'll like that more or less? That it's
I
like
think I
more
like that
open.
more, actually. I've come to the conclusion that I really enjoy open world games for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been some of my favorite games over the last couple of years. I feel like every game's going that way, though. Even like even Gears did it in their last game. Everyone's trying to fit in some sort of like open world concept,
Yeah.
even if it's not the entire game.
Elden Ring doing anything for you, Mike? That George R.R. Martin.
See, give the least shit about him. I know it's from the guys who do fucking the Souls games, so that's all I care about.
Yeah, it's from me. It's a collaborative thing from Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin. And here's where I'm at. Don't lose your thought, Mike. But like, I had basically no interest in this game. Like, and that's other people loving it. Go for it, have a blast. I don't care. But like, I don't care about George R.R. Martin at all. I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Where like, I like the idea of Souls games, but they never really like last with me. I don't know if I'm just not good enough or it's just not the game I actually like. I don't know. But well, you love Bloodborne though.
I do, but like
that's like the exception.
I honestly, I love Sekiro, but I got to a point where I'm like, I can't get any further. Like, I'm just not going to be able to get any further.
So like I had basically zero interest. There was like zero hype for me for this game at all. But when this trailer got shown off yesterday,
was pretty fucking crazy.
The trailer looked really fucking good, and all of a sudden now I'm like, all right, maybe this is the Souls game that pulls me in. Like, this looks really fucking good, and this is like, I don't care about Souls that much, and I definitely don't care about George R.R. Martin at all. So
once you get a PS5, whenever you are able to find one, I already have Demon Souls, so that's a game you can jump into, and you'll probably love that game. I mean, it's like more Dark Souls. And I feel like you were the only person I knew that played Dark Souls back in the day when Dark Souls was like. I never played those games. So
I played Dark Souls 1 and I played Dark Souls 2 and I never finished them because I'm fucking garbage at those games.
Okay.
No, I never finished them.
You're probably the same as me then. Like, we beat like four bosses and then
I think with Dark Souls 1 in particular, I don't know. I was probably in high school still. I don't know when that game came out, but like, it was just not the game I was trying to play. It was not. It didn't. I think
100%. I 100% get that. I'm kind of on your level.
Like, I have Bloodborne, never played it. I have Sekiro, never played it. I want to play one of those to give the series, like the genre, that type of game, another real chance as like an older person that would maybe like it more.
I don't know, actually. Like, I think
I would like Sekiro more than Bloodborne.
So that's where that's funny you say that, because that's where I was going. I like Bloodborne a lot, but I think Sekiro did a really good job of modernizing the Souls-like style.
Yeah.
And it felt like I was almost playing a Tenchu/Soulsborne style game. Where
I fuck with Tenchu on 360.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, where what's it call it? Bloodborne is fucking incredible, but that definitely feels way more like a Souls-style game.
Yeah.
Like I think that Sekiro definitely veered off the path on that a little bit in a good way. That game is just punishingly hard. I think that could be the hardest Souls-like game I've played. Maybe I'm in the minority on that. I don't know, but it's fucking not easy.
So I cut you off, Mike. But Elden Ring doing anything for you? Moving the needle?
It didn't matter because I didn't watch the trailer. I don't care about Bloodborne or George R.R. Martin or Game of Thrones. So like, no, whatever.
Are you a high fantasy guy at all, Mike, or no?
I think conceptually I should be.
Yeah, I do too.
But I don't think I really watch or,
Do you like Lord of the Rings?
I like Lord of the Rings in the sense that I know I watched the movies and I didn't hate them, but like I wouldn't say I was super invested. If anything, I would say I'm probably more sci-fi than fantasy.
Interesting.
I think I would say I would lean more.
I mean,
that's fine.
I am. I would say I am too, but I like both.
I like both, but like the idea of all the things that go into Lord of the Rings, like just thinking about me in like 8th grade, picking up Return of the King just to read during like a free reading period class, and being like, this book is fucking long. Let me just skip to when the ring gets destroyed. And I read that part, and I'm like, there's still like 200 pages left in this book. And then skipping through that and then like just reading through the appendix, which is also a good chunk of the end of that book. I'm like, well, this is fascinating. They made this entire backstory for all this shit.
Mm-hmm. It is funny
it's
that
interesting, but I don't care about it that much.
I get you. I think I'm in the same boat as the three of you, where I would probably very easily lean more sci-fi over high fantasy, because I think I'm very picky with high fantasy. I only like certain things. Like I like Lord of the Rings a lot. Like I don't read the books, but I love the movies. Like I like Lord of the Rings a lot. But like the trailer for Final Fantasy 16, going back to like a more fantasy, like a high fantasy setting, that does nothing for me, to the point where like that's a game I'll probably just not care about and not play.
Wait, the most recent one that they showed, like the medieval with the little boy. And
yes,
everything,
like I don't care about that setting at all, and I think I'm in the minority there.
No, like I don't care about. I dig that setting if it's done right, but Final Fantasy is just too far out there as far as like the like anime style to them. Where like I feel like I can never connect to it. I think 7 was the only story I was ever like, I can understand this. Yeah, I get this.
Intergrade came out this week. You gonna get it or no?
Do I get it for free if I have it? Or do
I'm so confused by how this process works. You'd have to ask like Cam or Grayson, because they just went through it, or Jesse too. I think you get the free upgrade for the PS5 version if you have the PS4 version, but you still have to pay, I think, $20 to get the expansion. So if you already own PS4 Final Fantasy 7 Remake, you get PS5 Final Fantasy 7 Remake, but you have to still pay for
the DLC.
Yes,
okay,
I believe so. Do you have it digitally or no?
I have digital.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's still an annoying thing. I think you have to like upload it from your PS4 and then read it. It's so stupid.
Because none of my games have my saves. So like when I'm playing over Last of Us right now, I'm like, I'm gonna do the highest difficulty to get some trophies. And then I was like, I gotta start over because my PS4 is fucking locked away in my closet somewhere.
Yeah. I was having this conversation with Jesse the other night, because when he was downloading Final Fantasy.
Is he giving them a break for it?
No.
Okay.
Like I think we're all in agreement that like, and I think you guys would agree, like the fact that Xbox is doing all this stuff and making it very fluid, where it's like, hey, you have it on fucking Xbox One, guess what? You have it on Series X.
Zero issues.
Saves are just in the cloud, hanging out, ready to go. Like you're just here and good to go. We're ready to hang.
How are we not at this point? Like it's fucking wild.
It is bizarre that like that Sony hasn't made that adjustment yet.
I don't know. I told you earlier, I think Sony's knocking it out of the park so far for PS5, and I love my Xbox, and my Xbox is my home console, but like I've been really won over by them. But at the same time, so like my console will go into sleep mode, or I'll put it into sleep mode. It like powers down by itself. I turn it on, and it's like your console was shut off incorrectly, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I saw that like Jason Schreier had the same issue on it. Like I've had some weird hardware issues with it, and honestly, people are like, why would you need a battery option for your controller? Motherfucker, my controller is always fucking halfway, or like it goes into sleep mode and I gotta like turn it back on, and I want a battery option. I don't think, like, give me a rechargeable battery option. I just fucking hate that I basically need to have two controllers. I need to have one charging at all times for PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, I understand some people's gripes with the Xbox controller still using batteries, but like I have had a rechargeable battery pack in my Xbox controller for the last, I don't know, 10 fucking years. And it's now in my Series X controller. And it's like, it lasts a long time. And if it's dead, you can still just play it with it plugged in. Like it's just there. Or if you want to put batteries in it, go for it. But like I haven't bought batteries in so long because I just got this little guy in here. Little pack. Plugs right into USB-C, no problem. Like good to go.
I'm a fan of
never worry about my controller.
Like give me more options. I don't care if I don't ever use them. Cool.
Yeah.
If I ever need to use them, that's even better. Hey, I need to fucking use batteries right now.
And like Microsoft sells a first-party battery pack. That's what I have. Like, and you can also buy third-party ones, but like they have that option for you there. I mean, again, you can argue it's stupid, and maybe it is stupid, but like the option is very fixable. It's not to me. It's not a big problem. But yeah. So I mean, for me, Oh,
That's
nice.
I
Okay.
got this. It was like $20. It was
Yeah,
great.
same. Mine was like 20, $15, something like
It
that.
came with two. It came with
Oh,
two. I
that's
was
great.
like,
Mine is just one.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's great. But as far as other stuff that's been shown off and kind of talked about this week, I think the only other kind of big thing for me personally is, and I don't know if you saw this, Todd, and I'm sure Mike does not care about this, but they showed a new Metal Slug game that is a tactics game.
Oh, I didn't see this.
It's a
No,
fucking
okay.
tactics game. So it's like over
Oh,
the
cool.
top, like Fire Emblem style,
Yep.
Final Fantasy Tactics style, where it's a grid based and you're moving characters around. It looks so good, and it's the people that did fucking the new Streets of Rage
Oh, nice.
.emu. So like it looks very good. Like it looks like it's going to be a real good game.
Is it like multi-plat, like all over everywhere? Or?
So unless they announced it after the stream, they didn't announce platforms at all, I don't think. Which makes me think that it might show up again this weekend at someone's conference. Like maybe it'll be at Switch or Xbox or something.
Are you excited by Battlefield at all? Because I mean, I'm so
I'm
excited
not.
to jump back. Oh
I'm
man,
not. But I mean,
can't wait.
talk to me about it if you are, because I'm not. I know
Oh
Mike
no,
is. Mike's a big Battlefield guy.
no, but
Oh
like,
yeah,
I mean,
which one are we talking about? 2042, where you
Yep.
fight in the future, and there's a helicopter and a hurricane.
I'm excited.
Mike knows more about this game than I do. There's a hurricane. What?
I don't know. At the very end of the trailer, there was like some natural disaster that was happening, and there's a guy in a flight suit.
electric storm or whatever.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Honestly,
Well-
I need another game that I need
Well,
another multiplayer
so
game that I'm going to play a lot.
Here's where I'm at, Todd, with this, because I have kind of not really much interest in this at all. Maybe they'll show more at the Xbox conference, and maybe it'll change my tune.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, how do you feel about this? Where it's
Don't care.
what?
Are
Oh,
you gonna say no single player campaign? Or?
well, so it is that, but
Their
it's
single
also.
they've never been good. And
So
I'll-
wait, wasn't the one for Battlefield 1 really good? Didn't people love that one? Because you played like
was
separate
okay.
stories for like different
Yeah,
parts.
That was what I played like 3 of them. I was like,
I think
cool,
people
that
loved.
one was
I thought
okay.
people loved that. I thought it was like critically received well. But
I think, but those stories are better because they're based on older wars, where like they're gonna throw some futuristic shit in there, and you're gonna be like, man, what am I watching? Just give me
Yeah.
some fucking multiplayer. You
well,
know, like
so my point is this: is $70 game just for multiplayer. You have, Call of Duty's Warzone is free. Obviously, you got games like Apex and Fortnite.
just Warzone though, just Warzone's free.
Yeah, but
that's
like
it.
I would argue that, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like I think that the player count and player base is probably primarily Warzone.
Yeah, because what's it called? BRs is still
Yeah.
a big thing, which I don't even
So
understand.
so like, do you think that, and maybe not for us because we're a little bit different, but like, we buy and play a lot of dumb shit and we spend our money like idiots and we buy a lot of everything. But do you think that like $70 for just multiplayer is worth it? I mean, you look at Halo Infinite coming out later this year, the multiplayer is free. You know what I mean? So it's like, do you think they're making the mistake of going this like no single player, only multiplayer, $70? Let's
No.
go.
Because the people who are buying Battlefields for single player, are fucking weird to me. I'm sorry, but like if you're not buying that,
Well,
for the
I feel like there's a
multiplayer-
lot of people that buy Call of Duty for the single player, and they were
Well, like,
mad with that.
listen,
Wasn't
I
one of the
played
more
Call of
recent
Duty-
Call of Duties no single player? Weren't people pissed
No,
about it?
I think they've all pretty much had it, but I buy pretty much every Call of Duty, and I don't really give a shit about the single player, but I've ended up playing like the last like 7 Call of Duty multiplayers, and I've actually really enjoyed them for what they are. But
Yeah.
like, and I've played some of the Battlefield stuff too. I mean, give me Bad Company 2, Bad Company 1. Those single player fucking campaigns were great, and the multiplayer was just as good. But here's my thing with Battlefield: the last couple big releases, the last like most like up, I think it launched with the last Xbox One. It was maybe Battlefield 4. It was like more modern day. It wasn't like futuristic shit. But that game launched with so many fucking bugs. It was a fucking disaster. It took like 4 months to get that game intact. Like, So, honestly, I love the fact that they're only focusing on multiplayer. I will give them $100 because, I mean, if you look at my list of games that I play, it's all multiplayer games. Like, look at Overwatch.
Listen.
I paid $60 for that game. No fucking multiplayer. I've got like about
No single player. But hold on, I want to strike from the record real quick. Don't let EA hear you say you'll pay $100 gladly for a fucking one multiplayer mode, because they will fucking
listen. And I love.
that.
I've been playing like 90% single player games for like the last like 8 months. So like actually probably like the last year and a half, I've gone way more single player than multiplayer. But when I get a multiplayer game that I like, I usually dump like a couple hundred hours into that. That's worth way more than any like Ratchet and Clank is cool as fuck right now.
But I'm talking
and
about
that game's like not worth $70.
Yeah, but I'm talking about remove yourself from this thing and just look at like the general gaming public, and it like, do you think that a lot of people are gonna be happy about spending $70 on a game that is just a multiplayer suite when there are games like Apex and Warzone and Fortnite that are free?
Yeah, those are all BRs though. This is different. Like,
but I mean, is it different? It like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the equivalent.
Call of Duty and all these games are nothing like Battlefield. Like, there's no other game where you have like 70 or 80 people playing and fighting at the same time.
Yeah, but like, is that what people want?
Yes,
I don't know if it is.
Like when I bought,
if that's what people wanted, more games would be doing big Battlefield games and not battle royales.
I don't know though. Like I don't think Call of Duty could handle it personally, because they've never gone anywhere different than like their 5v5, like, which is fucking mind blowing.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, I just think that it's a very risky move.
Like, it's crazy to me that Call of Duty has never really made multiplayer that they can do more than 5 people.
I think that this is a potential misstep for EA and for Battlefield, especially because Battlefield last few releases have been very rocky and haven't had good staying power, and they kind of fell out of the conversation. I don't even think they put it a Battlefield, huh?
People have been clamoring for like more modern day Battlefields. We've got
but you say this in like.
When's the last time we've got? The last one we got was for the launch of Xbox One. So I don't know how long it's been since then, but that's a real fucking long time. So people are definitely ready for this game. Because
you say this, you say this though.
I wanted the World War II games and everything. I love those games, those Battlefield games. So those are great to me. But
you say these things, and then like you look at like you see the audience clamoring for Call of Duty to go back to World at War time. You know what I mean?
It's going back. It's going back to World War II.
I think that there's obviously an audience for all different styles of these types of games in different settings. I guess different set pieces, but. I think the thing to look at here is I just think in general I think the value proposition to a lot of people at this point is I can play a good fun multiplayer shooter for free cross-platform with all my friends. You can
only play one mode though. You can only like Warzone gets fucking old, man. All those games, like I know like a lot of streamers live and die by these games.
I mean, it might get old. It might get old for you.
My friends that's on Xbox, no one plays Warzone. I play like when I was jumping on, I'm like the only person that was jumping on it. Like
but I don't like Call of Duty.
Yeah, but like Warzone's Warzone. It's like you don't have to like Call of Duty to like Warzone.
But like I love Fortnite, and I still jump onto that from time to time. And I would play Apex if I knew more people that played Apex. So I like the gunplay in Apex. Yeah. I just think that the way that the multiplayer shooter landscape is right now, where there seems to be a big part of that gaming audience mindshare is the free shooter.
But I think BR has been like beaten to the ground. Okay. I don't think BR is going to keep on having.
Let me finish my goddamn statement, because I'm not talking about BRs. I'm talking about price point. I'm saying
that's why they're. But the only things that are free are BRs. BRs are the only things that are
what
free.
I'm trying to say is I think this is a potential misstep for EA, because I think that they could make this same game that they're making and make it a free to play game. Because here's the reality is. This same Battlefield game that's going to come out in the fall or whatever for $70 is probably going to have seasons that you pay for and battle passes that you pay for. That's not what the normal situation is for these games. And yes, I understand it's different modes and stuff, but you can clearly see that the free-to-play model works and is profitable. So I think that they should have made this potentially a free-to-play game. Or maybe this is going to be a Game Pass game. So it'll be free on Game Pass.
There's already big rumors about that already.
Yeah, so maybe it'll be, maybe there'll be a portion of the audience that can, quote unquote, play it for free, and then the other platforms are paying for it. I just think that we're in this space where if I'm again, I'm not talking about me and you, Todd. I'm talking about the general gaming public. They have.
I don't think everyone. Listen. I know BRs but BRs are the only thing that are free right now. There's nothing else out there.
Okay,
That's really
but what I'm saying is, if I'm Battlefield and I am not the leader, I am behind every year to Call of Duty when I come out with a new game. How do I get?
It'll never change. It'll never change. It's never changed.
But it literally could have changed if they put this game out for free and then you pay for it through battle passes and season passes. Because if you don't do that, the people that buy Call of Duty every year are going to still buy Call of Duty every year if that's what they buy.
I mean, but I think they know that. I mean, it's like we've seen the numbers for Call of Duty.
How do you turn that audience away? EA is the fucking publisher for Apex. They see the numbers. They see that it works.
Oh, 100%. But like every Call of Duty, there's every Battlefield that comes out, there's destructible environments. Like Call of Duty, it's like, oh cool, you can't even shoot through a fucking wall. It's the same fucking shit.
Yes, Todd. All I'm saying is, if they made the game free to play, they could expand that audience tenfold and make their money. Because they can make their money, arguably more money.
Multiplayer game puts out free, strictly not BR. There's no other game that's like multiplayer that puts their game.
Halo is doing it this fall. Halo's multi. It's not going to have a BR.
And it will have a BR. I guarantee we'll hear about the BR on E3. I guarantee.
Even if it does have a BR, which I don't think it's going to, I'm pretty sure it's going to have a Warzone mode, which is their version. Yeah, no, it's in Halo 5. It's in Halo 5. It's not a BR. Yeah. It's basically big team battle with NPCs in it too. Listen, whatever Halo does.
The same you said about Battlefield, Halo needs to do the same thing to Call of Duty. You don't think they're coming out with a BR? You're already, there's no way they're gonna
I want them to come out with a BR. I want that. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna do that.
I hope they don't.
Anyways, what you're saying is the irrelevant point. What I'm saying is Halo is making a $60 or $70 single player game and a free multiplayer game. Battlefield.
And I've always paid for the multiplayer for Halo, never the single player.
Great, and now it's going to be free, so they're going to expand the audience tenfold. There's no reason why Battlefield couldn't have just made Battlefield, whatever this game is called, 2042, a free game where you pay for it through battle passes and DLC or whatever the fuck you want to do. Fortnite
but isn't every game on Xbox free at this point? Doesn't everyone have Game Pass?
No.
No, I mean,
if Game Pass, if Game Pass and Xbox consoles was a 1-to-1 thing, Microsoft probably wouldn't be as generous with Game Pass over the last few years as they have been with what they acquire and what they do. Or maybe they would, because they'd have even more fucking money. But all I'm saying is, I think it's potentially a misstep. I think that given this is going to be a multiplayer only game, they probably could have really fought up against Call of Duty, both Warzone and Call of Duty next game, whatever the fuck it's called.
You don't have to pay for that stuff in Call of Duty either. I can just rank up and still do my.
Yes, there are plenty of people that play Fortnite and Apex and don't spend any money on it, and that's fine too. But the amount of people that do spend money on it clearly outweighs the people that don't.
But I view Battlefield as a niche game. I don't think it's a mainstream game. It's never been a mainstream game ever. So I don't think they're ever going to get that audience, even if they went free to play. Because people are going to drop out of that. They're going to be like, this is way too... I'm running across the map. Where is everyone? It's not a game that's like Call of Duty where you jump in and it's 5v5, boom, here you go. You're killing people right away. It's a very unforgiving game for people who have only played Call of Duty. And I don't think they're ever going to jump over to the Battlefield scene. They might there's some people like me who like both. But
but I think if you have a game that's free, it automatically allows everyone to try it. And there are going to be people who have never played it, and then they try it and go, oh, you know what? I actually do like this.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that I think that they're making a multiplayer only game. Their direct competition is probably a Call of Duty game.
Should I not have paid for Chivalry then? Because they're a solely multiplayer game. I feel like that game's still gonna do fine though. I feel like there's already a lot of underground hype about that game.
I'm specifically talking about a military shooter when there is the free option of Warzone that exists, and if you want other modes, I think if you're downloading and playing Warzone and you want more of that, you're going to be very likely to just buy Call of Duty instead of buying Battlefield ever. Where if Battlefield is not going to have a single player campaign and they're just going to focus on building a multiplayer game and community.
But here's another thing. Like, everyone talks about all these special moments in Call of Duty campaigns. I would love someone to tell me a special moment in any Battlefield campaign. They can't, because they've never made a good campaign.
I'm not saying I literally don't care. I don't have a horse in this race. I don't care about Battlefield or Call of Duty. I think military shooters are garbage.
Yeah. No, I get it, but like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I just don't care about them. Give me SOCOM. Yeah. I'll pay for that. But I just think that like Battlefield has had a rough couple of games where they just didn't do well. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the last couple Call of Duty games would have done, but I'm pretty sure Battlefield V or 5, whatever it was called, didn't do well. And I think Battlefield 1 also didn't do well.
They didn't do VR. They didn't do the Battle Royales. That was a huge, because like that was when it was taking off. Call of Duty made it like, it was already getting big from Fortnite and everything else and PUBG, but PUBG was a shit show. But when Call of Duty like released that Warzone map, they like the original one from the one that me and you played quite a bit. That was the one that fucking like, oh, everyone's on it now, you know. And they just never did anything with that. They did the World War I and World War II games, and then they never brought anything different to the multiplayer aspect of it.
Battlefield's put out a battle royale.
Yeah, I know, but no one played it. Like, cause I remember when they launched it, and I was like, yeah, everyone's because it's already like you're already running around a giant map, like fighting people. You know, I don't think it works in that game.
All I'm saying is, I think that I don't see what Battlefield is going to do so differently this time around that they're going to eat into the mind share of people that are already playing Call of Duty or other free games or other paid games, because they already don't sell that well, from what I understand. So like, if they're already not overperforming games going up against a genre that is very stacked against them, what do you
the
do
biggest thing, like, on the internet yesterday was
to get an edge?
When they announced it was the fucking pilot jumping out of the rocket and everyone was freaking out. Like, that was like across the board.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I literally don't even know what you're talking about.
So it was in the Battlefield trailer, but like they did like a CGI thing of like a guy in a F-15 or whatever jumps out, takes his rocket launcher while he's in the air, shoots it, hangs on the side, and that's like a huge known thing in Battlefield. And everyone's like, Call of Duty's you know, like, obviously Call of Duty's not dead, but
I literally don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't, really? I like nothing. I don't know about what you're saying. I don't know about this being a huge thing in Battlefield. I don't know anything. Mike, you have to take that fucking filter off because it's freaking me out. Like, it's disgusting.
I don't even know what kind of faces he's making at this point. No, so if me and you play Battlefield and I'm in a fighter jet, I launch myself into the sky. I released myself out of the fighter jet. I took out my rocket while I'm floating in the air, shot another fighter jet that's coming at me, jumped back into the rocket and took off. It's like a well-known thing from Battlefield that people used to do back in the day.
I'll take your word for it. Mike, do you have any idea what we're talking about right now?
No.
Nah, I tuned you guys out a while
What do you think we're talking about right now?
I heard Battlefield in Battle Royales, but I don't know what the actual conversation's about. Like, I know those two things are involved, but hey, donkey! I don't know exactly what the argument is.
I think
I think it's the typical sort of thing where, like,
I don't think it's,
you two are both. No, I think
it's pay for it or don't pay for it, basically. And like,
I think it's the typical argument that you guys have where Brenden has a point, and then Todd is also talking about a thing that's like in parallel with the point that Brenden is making, but because it never intersects, you guys keep talking about two almost different things for an extended period of time. And then, like, Brendan's trying to get you to understand what he's saying, and you're trying to do the same thing, I think. I don't know. Someone will have to play back for me.
It's fine. All my whole point of it is I just think that Battlefield never performs well, and it's going up against stiff competition. So I don't know what they're going to do to switch things up. That's
what I'm saying. I think they know that, though, and I think like a small victory for them coming out right now would be like big for them. Like, not like I don't think they are trying to go against Call of Duty. Yes, that's their competition, but I think they know what Call of Duty is at this point. Call of Duty.
I don't know what you're on. I don't understand. You don't think that they're coming out trying to like put out a fucking blockbuster because they 1,000,000% are.
100%, of course, but they've never surpassed Call of Duty ever. So like,
I mean, I don't know about ever. I think back in the day, Battlefield had a pretty vibrant like player base and people that cared about those games.
Never came close to Call of Duty.
I think there was a point in time where probably Call of Duty and Battlefield were either evenly matched up or Battlefield was probably the one ahead. But there was a point in time, probably around when the first Modern Warfare game came out, that all of a sudden Call of Duty became what it is now, where it's like the best-selling game every year.
Yeah, it's just. I think realistically, you have to look at it like, I mean, if we were in the role of someone at Battlefield, we know that like, who do we go after? Call of Duty. You know, we've been absent for fucking years. How do we go after these guys?
My point here, my major point is, there's no campaign. There's no single player, which, whatever, maybe that's a good thing, bad thing, who cares? But if there's no single player, that means that the multiplayer suite has to be so good, so robust, that it has to not only get people to spend $70 on it, but it has to be something that, stacked up against what else is out there and available, justifies you spending $70 on it. That's why I think, like, just given the landscape where there are a lot of free-to-play options, EA is the publisher of both of these games, of both Apex and fucking Battlefield. They can see the fucking money. They can see the revenue that Apex brings in. They can see what Battlefield, the last two games, have brought in. I would probably go out and argue that Apex does better than both of those previous Battlefield games.
I honestly think that's why they're not doing single player though, because I think they know how.
Which is fine, and I get that. I think that is why.
Like I said, like they've had some really shaky launches for their multiplayer, like really bad, like almost basically like Rainbow Six Siege when it first launched, kind of launches, like where we couldn't play. We'd be like sitting like there for 45 minutes, and then finally we get into a match, and then we get kicked out, with shit like that. But yeah, I mean, I when I hear that they're not doing a single player campaign like Battlefield, I'm like, fuck yes, make this multiplayer the greatest fucking thing ever. Like, please, finally someone's just fucking focusing on the only thing I care about in the game. And like these campaigns from these like Call of Duty and like Battlefield, they're like 6 hours long, not even.
I don't know.
They're like tiny. They're
Mike,
super tiny.
what do you keep in your back pocket?
It doesn't matter because it will only come into play the next time this all happens.
What part? This does not make sense? I'm confused.
Don't even worry about it. That's why it's in my back pocket.
I guess.
I'm not gonna play it now.
I guess.
Yeah,
I wanted to save this little tidbit for Dom to actually be here because, he's the Star Wars guy from what I understand. But I learned this little. I want to just get off of the topic we were on and wrap this podcast up.
But one other thing.
Go ahead.
No,
yeah, I thought fucking that's what I fucking thought. Did you know that there is an in-universe genre of music that the Cantina band plays? Do you know what that genre of music is called in Star Wars, Mike?
No.
You want to take a guess?
Space Jam.
No. Todd, any ideas?
No. I'm trying to think of something, but I couldn't. Definitely not.
I really want to know if Dom knows what this is. So Dom, if you're listening,
it's like he's still here.
Before I say what the answer is, fucking mute us right now. But Mike, the answer to what that is, and this came up like organically in a conversation I was having earlier. The genre of music is called. He typed it in. It's called jizz.
Ooh.
I was like, I thought I did something wrong. I'm like, wait, I'm on my work iPad right now, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
that can't be right.
I was losing my fucking mind that it was called jizz.
A brief history of Star Wars and jizz. BuzzFeed.
So yeah.
Time for some smooth jizz.
There's like jizzbox players. There's like there's a lot of information on jizz in the Star Wars universe, and I was so
the top thing that comes up is jizz, Wikipedia fandom.
Yeah,
You've never heard of Wikipedia?
Yeah, I mean, I have.
No.
Yeah, it's like the
No, I'm not.
Wikipedia for fucking
Yeah, of
for
course.
Star Wars. But yeah, I thought that was dying over that. Like the fact that that's a
Amazing.
real thing is kind of funny to me because I'm a child, and someone saying "jizz" is funny to me. Before we wrap things up, again, it's not. I don't want to have a. I didn't want to have a full discussion about this today, simply because E3 is kind of ongoing, and by the time people listen to this, it'll probably already have happened, and our stupid thoughts will be irrelevant in that regard. But with the events about to unfold, for especially like the bigger ones like Xbox and Nintendo, do either of you have something you hope we see this week? Todd shaking his head. What about you, Mike? You got anything you hope you see at Xbox, Nintendo, or elsewhere? What would be?
Yes.
Go ahead, hit me with it.
What? Go ahead and ask your question.
I was just gonna say, what would be the get hype moment for you, Mike? Like, what would be the thing that like makes you fucking slap your headset off the ground and fucking spill a Diet Coke into your laptop?
Oh, boy, I know that's a reference to something, but like the idea that I would have a Diet Coke of all things is like, I don't know, baffling to me. So what would get me hyped personally is in PC gamers have been waiting for the sequel for fucking years now, but it would be super hype if we got Solitaire 2, baby. Yeah. Get new face cards, get new backs. When you win, the cards will do a different kind of like.
I like it.
Would this be a PC only, or would it be on consoles too?
That will be the best part. You'll be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be it'll be PC, and then it'll say also coming to Switch later this year, and we'll all be like, what?
Do you think the Switch port would also?
God.
You think the Switch port would also have Solitaire 1, or no? This is just a Solitaire 2 release.
That would be a pipe dream, but like, don't get me wrong, I'd be hyped if it happened.
If they did like a limited run physical release? Like, you think we'd get both on one cart? Because like double games on one cart is big for a lot of collectors. But like sometimes it'll be like, oh, you get the Solitaire 2 on cart, and then you get a download code for Solitaire 1.
I think they would both be on cart.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
What would you want in a special edition for limited run? Like, what would you want?
A deck of cards.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, solitaire crossplay.
You got to have crossplay.
the famously single player card game will have crossplay.
What about Game Pass? You think it's Game Pass day one?
Yes, 100%.
It should be.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
PC only Game Pass though. I don't know if it's gonna be on Xbox. I think it's gonna be PC only.
Wait, so you think it's coming to PC and Switch, but not on Xbox?
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass PC only.
What about Solitaire VR, Mike? We gonna get the Oculus VR version?
I don't see that happening for years. I don't know if the technology's there.
What about Minesweeper VR?
Minesweeper VR would be sick.
Minesweeper VR would be fucking scary.
It really, yeah, right. I was gonna say it would probably be stressful.
You're standing there, it's like, all right, 5, boom.
Yeah.
Whoa! What about Minesweeper VR BR?
Yo.
So we're all just on a big fucking gray sand map.
Honestly, what about you know what would be a steal for fucking VR is Bomberman VR. I feel like get like 4-player games of
That would be so claustrophobic. I would have a fucking hard time with that.
Oh my God,
because if you're just in like narrow hallways and you can't see anything and you're like peek around like, is there a fucking bomb over there? Like, no, I would fucking lose my fucking mind in that. Do you have a real thing, Mike? A real deal,
No,
Holyfield?
Not a goddamn thing. No.
We're obviously gonna at least get one Smash character, Mike. Do you have who you would want to see be that reveal? Not who you think. You can do both if you want, if they're different. But
I honestly think Crash is going to be one of the last two.
I don't think so, but I mean, some people would be happy. I would be whatever.
I think still in terms of just like fulfilling some sort of weird early 2000s fantasy from myself of like what a Smash game would entail in terms of third-party characters. It would be Crash is who I would want. I have no love for Crash as a series because I don't have any
Yeah,
nostalgia
same.
for it, other than like just knowing it as the mascot for the console that I don't own.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be the case because
I feel like his moveset would be really good in
his moveset would probably be
Smash,
really good, but in terms of just like how this whole pass has gone so far, I couldn't tell you. It could be whatever.
You guys saying that his
It
moveset
could
would be
be
really
the
good.
card from. It could be the card from Solitaire. Who knows?
You're an idiot. You both saying that Crash's moveset would be really good. I foresee Crash's moveset being much like Sonic's, where everything is a fucking twirly move and they all look the same, and I never know what's going on.
Like, fast. He's not like crazy fast like Sonic, so I feel like it wouldn't be as drastic. He'd have like the Luigi down B where you spin around and fucking annoy people.
Yeah,
all
that
the
would be
time.
all of his moves, and he would just go,
Yeah.
whoa! That's what he does. Whoa! He'd probably get
he would have
his final smash with him getting the fucking mask on. Maybe another character would show up, maybe his sister or whatever. Who's to say? Maybe Dr. Neo fucking Cortex shows up, shoots you with a little blasty blast. What about you, Todd? What's the get hype moment for Xbox or Nintendo?
Yeah,
or both for you?
there's really not much. I'm excited for Nintendo. I mean, for Xbox to have anything, and I know that there's going to be some. They're definitely saving something for E3. I don't know what the fuck it is, but
I mean,
you know,
one of the potential leaks from E3 that has me very excited for Xbox is
Max Payne 4.
No. Is obviously Halo Infinite is going to be a big focus of their E3 because that game is coming out in the fall.
I figured that would be anyway.
But
and like I don't need that game. So like I want that game.
So
but I don't need
supposedly it's at the end of Microsoft's presentation, whether they're ending with Halo or starting with it or it's in the middle, the end of their presentation is a look at the multiplayer and then them saying the beta is live now.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you wouldn't be pumped? I'd be fucking going nuts if that's. Listen, you're telling me on Sunday, whenever Xbox wraps up, if they say go download fucking Halo Infinite multiplayer right now, you're not going to be. That's going to be the thing you're doing.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you one answer on that, and I'm going to say yes. It's going to be the first thing I do, and it's going to be the first thing that's going to disappoint me that night because no one's fucking playing it. If they announce that, that's going to spread like wildfire. There's no way like. It's going to be fucking crashing and like
here's what I think the plan is. This is not part of the leak that I read, but this is what I think they will do. Yes, when Halo Infinite drops off, it's going to be a free-to-play multiplayer game, but I guarantee you, if this beta thing is real, it's for Game Pass subscribers. The multiplayer beta is live today. You know how many extra Game Pass subscriptions are going to pop off at least for a month just for that?
I think it's going to be a Switch show. That's what I'm saying.
It's their biggest game. It's their biggest game to come out in the last fucking decade. It's going to be ready.
Halo is the biggest game of Xbox, and they fucking haven't gotten it right for a long time. So I definitely can't get excited over anything until I see it.
See. So what is going to be the get hype thing for you?
Breath of the Wild 2 and a new Switch. That's all I want.
You think we're gonna get both of those? I don't think we're gonna get both.
No,
of those.
I don't think we're gonna get Breath of the Wild 2. To be honest with you, I think we're gonna get like a new Switch. And
I don't think we're getting a new console at all. I think we're definitely getting a Breath of the Wild trailer.
We'll get a trailer, but I don't think it's gonna come out and like I think it's still gonna be like another fucking full year or something. You know, like
I think it's March. I think it's
like
March.
Elden Ring. Well, I feel like I honestly wouldn't doubt them releasing a new like the upgraded console with that.
Oh, if my thought process is if there is a new Switch that is going to be announced anytime soon and come out anytime soon, it is coming out either with Zelda or it's coming out when that new Pokemon game comes out in January. Like that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's the open world
one. Right? Yeah, if there's a new Switch that is happening, it is coming out day and date with one of those games. That's my take. I don't think we're seeing this console if it exists though at E3 because
we've been hearing about it for so long.
I know, but Nintendo's tweet about their E3 presentation says a presentation on focusing on games coming out in the near future or games mostly coming out in 2021 is what their tweet says.
I mean, what do we expect? I mean, we already know is golf this month or.
Golf is this month, I believe. I think it's the end of this month.
Nice. Fuck yeah, that's gonna be huge.
I mean, we still don't really know what Nintendo has coming the rest of the year. I mean, we obviously don't know what Microsoft has coming
no more
either.
Heroes. You know, like,
No more
we have
Heroes. Yeah, I
we have
mean,
no clue about Microsoft.
Microsoft, I think, is not going to have a lot of extra coming out this year games, but I think they are going to have some nice little treats for us on Sunday.
What's that top-down shooter that they have coming out that a lot of people have talked about? It's a Microsoft exclusive. It's like a top-down, like Smash TV kind of looking game, but
and it's a Microsoft exclusive. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's I can't remember what it's called, but I don't know. I'm hoping that comes out this year because I feel like people have been kind of talking about that and raving about it.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm excited. I am very excited for both Halo, for both Microsoft and Nintendo.
If Microsoft was smart, they would just let me be able to play fucking Max Payne 3. You know, like because I'm a simple.
That's a Rockstar thing,
man.
not an Xbox thing.
It's fucking wild though that like I can't play this game unless I break out an Xbox 360. We skipped a whole generation where I still can't go back and play this game. I have to have.
Microsoft will gladly put it backwards compatible. Rockstar just needs to give the okay. They just need to give the okay.
Wild to me. Either they have some kind of big. Do they have anything for E3?
Who, Rockstar?
Rockstar.
Not that I've seen. I know that there's been a rumor of a Bully remaster for a while, or a Bully sequel. Maybe both. I don't know.
Yeah, don't care.
Some people love that game.
I played the first.
I never played it.
It's fine. It's fine.
But I think Nintendo and Microsoft are going to have very good presentations, and I'm very excited for those.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think PlayStation's had a really great year so far. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, what do they have to show at this point for this year? There's really
PlayStation?
Yeah.
Well, they're not at E3.
Oh, they're not. It's okay. So they're not even there.
They'll probably they'll probably have some sort of state of play in the next couple weeks, but they're not, quote unquote, part of E3.
And they don't need to fucking push anything because you can't even get their fucking consoles still. So it's like, just like keep on doing.
I mean, you still can't get an Xbox, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This is running long now, and I did not want it to go this long. But yeah, so that's, I don't know, late 30.
Midnight? Are you fucking kidding me?
It's not midnight. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm very, very excited for what we have in store coming this week for E3 stuff. But thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this week's episode 262 of the Pass Controller Podcast. As always, you can find all of our stuff at passcontroller.io, on Twitter and on Instagram at passcontroller, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/passcontroller. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can go to Pass the Controller. I literally do not understand anything that I'm saying right now. You can always support the show the freest way, the easiest way, by sharing us on social media, leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, wherever reviews are able to be left for podcasts, and let people know about us. If you have a few bucks kicking around, you want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can go to passcontroller.patreon. Nope, not a thing. Passcontroller.threadless.com and getting some sick swag, or going to patreon.com/passthecontroller and becoming a patron, or subscribing to the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/passcontroller. If you want to keep in touch with us and our community, you can join our Discord server, and you can find me at bgroom. You can find Mike at _MikeOpath. You can find Todd at Toddy_by_nature. And again, if you are watching us live right now, or you're seeing this sometime during Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, the 12th, I'll be streaming for 12 hours, potentially longer, to raise money for MG. So make sure to tune into us there and donate if you can. If not, sharing that as well, so people can tune in and donate. But yeah, that'll just about do it for this episode 262 of the Pass Controller Podcast. Yeah, be good to one another.